Lovely to be here. Shiny, thanks for this. And Tanuja, wonderful to be talking to you about Goldie and Devanand, Hum Dono. And strangely enough, 2 years ago, Shiny had sent me the manuscript of this book. And as always, I was late in responding. And by the time I responded, somebody else had taken up the book. I have lived in regret for the last couple of years, but किसी चीज़ को दिलो जान से चाहो तो you end up getting connected with that, सारी कायनात लग जाती है. And so when Shiny said, would you love to do the conversation, there was sort of a goldish twist to the tale. So I'm very thankful that I'm able to do this. Of course, one of the greatest director-actor combinations, and we'll talk about that. I'll limit my talking to just this introduction, and I'll just let Tanuja, and I must warn you, 45 minutes, simply not enough. I think each film could take up a couple of hours, the way, even if we talk about just the songs in that, I think we'll go well over 45 minutes for each film. But we'll try to keep it to the timeline, and maybe unstructured we'll proceed, because there's no way you can actually probably structure this in, But Tanuja, just to start off, we talk of director-actor combinations, and we mention the Satyajit Ray, Soumitra Chatterjee, Kurosawa and Mifune, Robert De Niro and Scorsese. But somehow, Devanand and Goldie, we don't actually talk about so much. It doesn't register so much in conversations on art, actor, director combinations. Why do you think? Do you see a certain snobbery associated with that? The aesthetic is sort of, okay, we're making meaningful cinema as opposed to entertainment-oriented cinema. So why do you think, and where would you place this particular combination of filmmaker and actor?
Hello. Yeah. I would definitely say that much as all of us have loved mainstream cinema, in fact, everybody who's gone to the Film Institute, which is my alma mater, which is really my mother, they all, the first thing they want to shun is mainstream cinema. I've never understood it. I never fell out of love with it. So I do feel there has been a snobbery to the popular space. And also there is something about India which I find very unfortunate, which is that we are seldom appreciative of our own geniuses, unless somebody else tells us about them. Guru Dutt was considered, Gana Vana wala film banata hai, till France discovered Guru Dutt. Then everybody went mad in India about him. So why are we like this? My question to everybody is, why do we need somebody else to tell us? And when I was writing the book, Dev Sahab has already written his autobiography, and Goldie Sahab had sort of dictated his life story to a Marathi journalist, and which was "Ye Hote Goldie," aise karke kitab ka naam tha. But I felt that they were two very extraordinary talents, and they were also very extraordinary men, and they were there was a younger brother, older brother dynamic. Goldie Sahab was 11 years younger than Dev Sahab, but on the sets, Goldie Sahab was the boss. But this dynamic of the age gap also played terrifically between them. Like in Tere Mere Sapne, there was a song where he and Mumtaz make love. Now that's 70s. So Goldie Sahab was in knots. He was very shy how to go and tell Dev Sahab that this is what I want out of you for this song. It's so cute, So Mumtaz was she was very sprightly. So she said, don't worry, I will come with you, I will support you. And then, so they went and broke the news to Dev Sahab. So Dev Sahab must have looked very distressed, but well, he did a terrific job. The song was Mera Antar Ek Mandir Hai Tera.
In fact, you have a delightful story of Vijay Anand's bashfulness about talking about a song in Guide and how Hasrat Jaipuri mentioned something. That's a lovely, lovely story if you can.
That's another element, you know, when I started writing the book, so they had their creative differences. It wasn't all hunky-dory between them. But I'm coming from a space of being a film practitioner and a film student. So I wasn't looking for the gossip and, you know, the juice and all that kind, masala. So their relationship as brothers was, it had its creative conflicts, but there were things one didn't have to say to the other, but they would sense it in their bones. So there's this time Goldie Sahab had a nazm in his mind. This is something Goldie Sahab told me. Why he told me was because I was making a film on the 40 years of Navketan. Dev Sahab had commissioned me. Right after my passing out, he was very charmed by me. So he'd commissioned me, but the film fell through. And you'll find all this, the story of all that in my book. So I was talking to Goldie Sahab, whom we used to consider in FTII, me, Raghavan, Raju Hirani, Sanjay Bansali, who's my batchmates. We used to consider him God. You know, so it was like going to the guru. So I used to touch his feet and all that. So Goldie Sahab was telling me what happened with the making of this song. So he had a nazm in mind. So Hasrat wrote the song, Hasrat Jaipuri, and Dada composed it. Rafi Sahab sang it. It's a very important point in the story where, have you all gone, who all have seen Guide? I love you. I just love you. So you'll know this. So it's the Din Dhal Jaye, Hai Raat Na Jaye situation. He gave up everything for this woman. Now this woman is also going away from him. So he is just getting drunk and he's just singing. This loneliness is searing him. So this song was recorded and that...
This was not Din Dhal Jaye.
This wasn't Din Dhal Jaye. Okay, another song was recorded. And Goldie Sahab said that I felt something had gone wrong. And he said, I couldn't sleep that night. But, you know, he said, by morning it'll go away. But the morning, the feeling persisted. So he went to Dev Sahab, and he found Dev Sahab was miserable. And he said, Goldie, kuch gadbad ho gaya hai. Ye gaane mein kuch gadbad ho gaya hai. So, without words, they both were in tandem, in tune. So, they sort of analyzed it. They said, Rafi sung it beautifully, the tune is beautiful. Lyrics? So Goldie Sahab went to Hasrat Sahab and said, ki iska lyrics ka thoda, you know, we want to do it again. Now remember, this is 1965 India. The subject was extremely thorny. It was about a married woman going and living with another man. And
man is also not of the highest sort of, you know, he is shady in many ways, you know, he's not a perfect man.
He's not a perfect man, but this had been really a bone of contention. So, this is not a straight character, as you are very rightly pointing out. It's a flawed character. So, Goldie Sahab ye mujhe bata rahe, it's a hilarious thing. Goldie Sahab must have been 60 that time. So he said, you know what Hasrat told me? What else do you expect me to write for her? And then he kept quiet. So I said, for a what? So he said, well, he said something very nasty and, you know, I just felt my blood run cold. So I said, but what did he say? So Goldie Sahab said, I can't say it in front of a young woman. So now my curiosity was more piqued. I said, sir, tell me, no. He's saying, no, I can't use such words before a young woman and, you know, this language and all. So I have a very colorful language off stage. So I didn't dare to tell him that. So I said, just don't, I mean, try me, you know. So he said, well, you know, and he's blushing. He's 60, he's blushing to say this. He told me, what do you expect me to write for a pimp? Except he said it in Hindi, which sounds 100 times worse. So they got, and then Shailendra ji just walked in, and he said, "Ye mera film hai, why have you given it to anybody else?" And that song was recorded, and they recalled this so beautifully. He said, 8 o'clock, S.D. Burman called him up and said, Dev, एक superb tune मेरा दिल में आ रहा है. So just get Shailendra and get a peti. Peti is a harmonium. So they met at Dev Saab's house. And Dev Saab recalled, he said, Dada ने पहले स्वर जो दबाए, Goldie and I just felt a thrill run through us. We knew we'd found our song. So yeah.
You know, to start off the collaboration, 1957 was the year of Mother India, Pyasa, Naya Daur, Do Aankhein Bhara Haath, all India projects, you know, very serious, very sort of meaningful mainstream cinema, you know, like which we're talking about India unfolding. And in comes this young man
22.
22, and makes a road movie, possibly Hindi cinema's first road movie, entertainer to the hilt.
Yeah.
You use a very interesting term for him when talking of Goldie Saab you call him a ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah. So could you say, what was it? How was Goldie hoping to sort of establish himself as a true blue entertainer in a medium in Hindi commercial cinema, mainstream cinema, which was very, very sort of socially conscious at that time? No,
That's a
Correct.
very tricky one.
and why? What is it that made him a ninja? You know, like I can sort of see that point, but if you could just.
I think, since I have come from a film school, I would say that it gives you a lot of strengths, but it gives you a lot of inhibitions. Goldie Sahab did not come from any of that. He was also a all Bombay boy. Unlike the other directors like Guru Dutt, Bimal Roy, Mehboob Khan Sahab, Raj Kapoor even, who was small town India. This was a cosmopolitan boy, and I think he had this great confidence. He actually never wanted to be a filmmaker. He wanted to be a writer. So he had nothing to lose. And that's the fun part. So he's so fearless in his making. So I think Goldie Sahab's focus was amazing. And you know, so he set out to make a hit film. अभी हम लोग भी कहें कि हम हिट फिल्म बनाना चाहते हैं तो हमें ऑल इंडिया ऑडियंस खत्म हो गई है बट ये इंस्टिंक्ट थी कि मैं हिट फिल्म बनाऊंगा and he made a hit film. But usse, if you look at the other trajectory, because my book talks about 8 of their superb collaborations, Goldie Saab inverts forms. He's not a straight guy, you know. So if he's doing a road film, it's not just a road film, then it becomes a suspense thriller.
Yeah.
Then he'll do the next film, which he never takes credit, is Kala Bazaar, which is okay. So now there's a black marketeer of tickets, and there is a girl, there's a woman in his life who says, not to him, but to another character, कि मेरा साथ चाहिए, तो तुम्हें ऊपर उठना होगा. Has a heroine in Indian cinema ever said that, the Charno Ki Dasi? Never, never ever. So Wahida is saying, you'll have to rise. So now this black marketer has to rise morally to her level, all right? And now to compound it more, she is in love getting engaged to a character played by Vijay Anand.
Yeah.
So you've got a double whammy within your main character. Then he'll do Hum Dono. Now Hum Dono is a story about two soldiers, two doppelgangers. But the film is about the women who are not even part of the war, but who are completely destroyed by war. The mothers, the wife, the beloved. So you just go on seeing, okay, star-crossed lovers, tere ghar ke samne.
Yeah, it's basically Romeo and Juliet as a comedy.
It's Romeo and Juliet, again the inversion will happen because two people fighting for izzat and pride, oh we see so much of it now. But it's a very stupid fight. It's a very egoistical fight. So he just takes it and he just again flips it on its head. So it's a comedy. Because he will, and then he will deliciously bring, India has just suffered a humiliating defeat with China. Now this is just simply superb. So, and the morale of the nation is not as cynical and divided as it is today. It was like a big blow for the nation. And there was a gloom. So Goldie, right in the middle of the film, there's a door which opens and the warring children are Devanand and Nutan, okay? So she comes, she says, how long will we be able to hide it from our parents? So he says, तुमको पता है झगड़ा निपटाने के 2 तरीके हैं. मैं हिंदी में बोलूँगी, आई होप आप लोग समझ लें. झगड़ा निपटाने के 2 तरीके हैं. शी सेज क्या? शी सेज एक चीनी तरीका है. चीनी तरीका क्या है? कि मैं ज़बरदस्ती तुम्हारे घर घुस जाऊं और बंदूक दिखा के तुम्हें तुम्हारे माँ बाप से ज़बरदस्ती छीन के ले जाऊं. This is actually the land that China's assassin and all taken away from us. He's saying it in the film. I mean, this guy is where, and she says, और हिंदुस्तानी तरीका. So he says, वो पंचशील का तरीका है. Nehru, Nam, Chokam, all of it told so beautifully, told lyrically, but it talks to its people. Devanand and Vijayanand were always talking to their India, which is very important for us to know.
Not quite, sort of, they're not spoken. They're actually thought of as these urban, sophisticated filmmakers who did not talk of India as such. They never, Devanand, of course, never played a villager. Their films were not set in the village, in villages. But they did, their films did time and again take up contemporary Indian issues, like for example, even when Devanand made Des Pardes much later, as we were talking.
78.
78, but almost he had this, he preceded Donkey by almost 40 years.
Donkey is about illegal immigrants, so
And
he's
he
like,
made
when is he doing it?
And 69 mein he makes Prem Pujari.
Prem Pujari, the renegade soldier.
Yeah, and and the beauty queen and all of that. He's catching the
a Miss India becoming Miss World in Prem
in
Pujari
1969.
In 1969. So, like, really thinking, what was actually very attractive, Shantanu, about them was that they were very hip, they were very westernized. Not Goldie Saab so much, Dev Saab was very hip. I think that image actually spoke to our generation between the, I call them the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh of Indian cinema, Raj Kapoor, Dilip Kumar and Devanand. Dev Sahab spoke to our generation because there was this optimism, there was this never say die, there was that charm, there was that चालूनेस कि कुछ भी होगा ना ऊपर मैं ही आऊँगा. That compare him to all the victimized heroes, the Rona Dhona wala heroes. Dev Sahab just was another thing. But their thing with India was very, again, I'm not just going to go on talking about Guide, but in Tere Ghar Ke Samne, the lovers go to some, to a village and a woman gives them food to eat. So Dev Sahab wants to give her 5 rupees. In those days, a big 5 rupees. So she says, beta, hum roti nahi bechte. ये हिंदुस्तान का सोल है अभी भी. In cities we've become very mechanized and very, I need you for this, it's all very cut and dry. But this I would say the complete soul of India, and Goldie just brings it. Or the boorish mama of Guide that we were talking about, played by Ullah Saab. We all have a mama and chacha, or somebody in our family who spits a lot, who's very boorish, who yells quite a lot. And Goldie just puts the Bharat and the India face to face. Irreconcilable, but they're there, both of them. So, yeah, I just think.
One aspect that I found most interesting about when you're talking of 9 do 11 is, and you bring in Yoga Vasishtha's, his engagement with Yoga Vasishtha and the subjectivity of time, and you make a very interesting statement that here was a man who was a master at crafting climaxes. Yeah. This particular climax goes on for, I think, 13 minutes. Yeah. We couldn't carry the clip of this climax or the one in Johnny Mera Naam, because then we'd have only the clips and no conversations. But would you like to talk about his idea of time being subjective and how these two, like 5 minute ka, police 5 minute mein aane wali hai, but he stretches that to almost 13-14 minutes, but it does seem like only 5 minutes in the in the. So if you could just talk about the
See-
climax of Nau Do Gyara and the climax of Johnny Mera Naam.
Yeah, Johnny Mera. Johnny Mera Naam stays more, you know, it contracts time. But in cinema, time is a very malleable element. So we either expand it or contract it. The expansion you must have seen in a lot of, you know, films. If I'm traveling from my room here to your venue, and I had this dream of always talking to a lot of people and writing a book. In cinematic terms, my whole life, I can make it happen in the 1.5 minutes it takes me from walking to my room to coming here. So I expand time. So Goldie Sahab was very sort of interested in both the ideas. So योग वशिष्ठ का है जो बाद में आइंस्टाइन ने कहा था, or really in that order, that time is felt subjectively by us. So if you're waiting for your beloved and if she's 5 minutes late, it feels like 50 minutes. And the 50 minutes spent with her will feel like 5 minutes. So what happens to time in the human mind? He was very interested in that. So in Nau Do Gyara, he went on the expanding, you know, that this 5 minutes where the heroine's life is at stake, she has to be saved, and the police is around, and the villain's got a gun on her head, and each one feels this time just going on and on and on. So he wanted you to feel for that time. And he got into a lot of fights with everybody about it while the film was being made. Dev Saab was also appealed to, but he was very stuck on it, that I want this. And if the audience doesn't like it, then you can run the shorter version. But the audience rooted and clapped at the premiere, show which Goldie very khafa didn't go for. And he came towards the end to find that. But in the next film, what he does is he starts contracting time, and that becomes his stylistic statement. So Goldie moved the film with such a pace. I want you to go and watch any of his films. You will find one thing, that not one shot, and that's truly the hallmark of a master, not one shot is extra. Not one shot. फालतू में atmosphere के लिए, not one shot. It's bang on. It's going towards its target. What we say in editing, he goes to the meat of the scene and cuts from meat to meat to meat. So, if you all remember Johnny Mera Naam, anybody? Yeah, I love you all. So, Johnny Mera Naam, you remember that they have kidnapped the Purohit's daughter?
Yeah.
So Pran is sitting with that disguise and he says, "Chot tab karo jab loha garam ho," and he twangs the ektara. On that sound, the cut comes, the pujari is searching for his daughter, and he hears his daughter crying, "Baba," and he rushes, and she says, "Ye log jo keh rahe hain, maan jao, nahi to ye mujhe maar denge." Twang of the ektara. You see the priest is walking from a distance. He's carrying the ektara in his hand. So it's not just that he's using a sound for no reason. Yeah. It's a physical thing, and he comes and he's looking very shaken, and he puts the ektara in the thatch of the house. In that are the jewels that he has to, has to take out the real jewels from the idols and put the fake jewels. That's the dilemma. In 3 shots, Goldie has, but he's made you feel for everybody. He's made you feel for the Purohit. He's made you feel for the helplessness of that little girl who's kidnapped, like that. So that's the pace he sets up. The other thing that I think we need to come...
Absolutely, yeah.
The other thing is the segueing Goldie does. Goldie Sahab brought a new life to song picturizations.
Yes.
So his first brief to S.D. Burman was, and S.D. Burman and Devanand go back to Ziddi. So, okay, so this is a relationship of great love and respect from both their sides. And S.D. Burman's songs were never becoming hits, so he was wanting to pack his bags and go back to Calcutta. They stopped him and he says, "Your music is superb, logon ko ek din samajh aayega." So Dada sort of stayed back. So Goldie's brief to Dada was, if a song comes in my film, it should either move the story or it should move the character, or it should move both. If you take out a song from my film, the audience should feel an absence, जैसे कुछ खो गया. So it wasn't a Ghar Aaya Mera Pardesi. It wasn't lavish sets and fantasy, which has actually no bearing to the story. if I may say so.
Absolutely. You know, the way he sort of will come, my next question was on the music, and we'll have a lot to, I think
After-
that
after the clip.
after the clip, we'll have quite a bit on that. But he was always sort of, the songs proceeded from a dialogue of the characters, or the song ended with the characters picking up from where the song
Yeah,
ends.
the emotional journey of a character is very clearly etched in every song of his. So you feel that journey happening. So we are going to share with you. You all are welcome to sing with it, clap with it, because you all will. This is the first anthem of women's liberation. Can we play the first one, the Kaato Se Khiich Ke? I just want you to see how he segues from the song into the dialogue scene, and then Shantanu and I will discuss it. Yeah.
कमाल की डांसर है रोजी। इतना हुनर है तो आपके नाम को छोड़ दिया।
क्या बताऊं, मार्को का ख्याल नाच गाना बाज़ेरी औरतों का पेशा है।
ऐसे नेक ख्यालों वाले आदमी का ऐसी गुनी डांसर से मेल कैसे हो गया?
दूसरा रास्ता क्या था? माँ खानदानी देवदासी, बेटी को उस माहौल से निकालती तो कैसे? किस्मत देखो, सामने आया भी तो मार्को। मुझे अपनाया, मेहरबानी की, घर की बहू बनाया, एहसान किया। इतना बड़ा मकान, इतने नौकर, इतना पैसा, इतना नाम, इतना आराम
और इतना प्यार।
हाँ, इतना प्यार।
मैं छोटे घराने में पैदा हुआ है। मेरा बस चलता तो मैं मार्को साहब को साबित करके दिखा देता कि तुम्हारी जाति कितनी ऊंची है।
मेरी
कलाकार भान नहीं होते हैं, आज इज्जत वाले भी उनकी इज्जत करते हैं। उदय शंकर ने दुनिया में नाम कैसे कमाया? अपने नाच से। और शांता राव और बाल सरस्वती और
बड़े बड़े नाम लेते हो राजू कि मेरी नसें भड़कने लगती हैं।
तुमने कभी कोशिश ही नहीं की, वरना कौन जानता कि शायद तुम्हारा नाम सुनकर भी लोगों की नसें फड़कने लगती।
नहीं नहीं, मेरी ऐसी तकदीर कहाँ।
तकदीर खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे, बता तेरी रजा क्या है? अगर हिम्मत है, हुनर है, लगन है, शौक है, तो जो कुछ नामुमकिन है मेरे सामने आए।
क्यों ना मार्को से एक बार फिर बात करो।
Metro Inox on their sub-centenary. And I had to pinch myself that I was in 2024 because the whole hall erupted when this moment happens. Because he is talking about a woman finding her strength, but he's also talking about all of us who are here, that we are artists. You better learn to respect artists, though India doesn't want their children to be artists. India wants them to be engineers and doctors and all that. But yeah, so he argues for all of us also. But what I would like to point out here, Shantanu, is that you've got a song like Kaanton Se Kheench Ke happening, which is so high energy. But the energy of the scene again takes you back to the same high. He does not, because he cannot, if the scene is a slump, then you will not get engaged in it after that whole momentum of the song. So Goldie would do these segues, which were just so remarkable. And then we could...
Even in that Tere Ghar Ke Samne, Tu Kahan Ye Bata, there's this whole hilarious scene of him in a scooter going off to the hill station and then somehow managing to walk, and there is this bhikari in front of him who is asking for alms. Maula bata tu kahan hai, and from there he starts the song. It's so incredible how that scene gets into.
It just floats. You know, actually they would when they would plan a song in Hindi films, in Indian films. Okay, song was really finding the soul of the film. If you found your song, you found the atma really, and that is why you'll notice a lot of films you may not remember, but you'll remember the music. You see any Indian Idol or any of these competitive shows, what songs are they singing? They're singing these songs.
Yeah, a lot of the 60s film cinema is actually quite forgettable if you take out the songs. An Evening in Paris, for example, huge entertainment, but take out the 8 songs, you don't have anything there. You know, it's just the song Zubi Zubi and, you know, all of that. But with Vijay Anand, the thing was, the songs were integral. You know, the story and the song sort of, it was not as if, like in Evening in Paris, you take out the songs and the whole film collapses because there's nothing. It's just a 2-hour narrative woven together with 40 minutes of great songs. Yeah. Here in Guide or...
It's growing organically, I think, from the story, from the body of the story. So before every song, they would meet Dada, they would discuss क्या situation, background क्या होगा, hero heroine क्या कपड़े पहनेंगे, कौन से प्रांत से हैं, क्या भाषा बोलेंगे. तो इतना inputting होता था.
And just the incredible range of influences. For example, you mentioned Jaidev humming a tune and S.D. Burman saying, मुझे ये tune मांगता है. You know, just if you could just tell.
Okay, Jaidev came one morning humming something. He was...
Jaidev, of course, composed the music for Hum Dono.
And with R.D. Burman, Basu Manohari and Basu Chakravarti and Manohari Singh, the quartet of the greatest musicians India's had. So he came humming a tune and Dada अपना पेटी पे बैठे थे. So he perked up. He says, हमको तुम्हारा ये tune मांगता है. So Jaidev said, Dada ये tune नहीं है, ये आजान है. So he was singing that. So Dada said, जो कुछ भी है बहुत मधुर है, हमको मांगता है. So he didn't know. And you know what Dada composes out of that? हम बेखुदी में तुमको पुकारे चले गए.
Again, Devanand at his best, his one Filmfare award winning.
Yeah.
We'll watch the next which is of course Vijay Anand going to extremes, you know. So we'll talk about that and then possibly end up with...
This is an extremely hilarious song. Just one thing, the extremity, for Goldie, it wasn't enough. If he thought of something, he would take it to its illogical conclusion, totally. So if he wants the hero to come from a window, then one window is not enough. Then the whole house is windows and Venetian blinds and Roshandans, and there we go, and it goes on and on and on. But the beauty of this song is you watch the brothers in complete harmony, complete tandem. Let's sit and watch this one.
पल भर के लिए कोई हमें प्यार कर ले, झूठा ही सही, पल भर के लिए कोई हमें प्यार कर ले, झूठा ही सही। 2 दिन के लिए कोई इकरार कर ले, 2 दिन के लिए कोई इकरार कर ले, झूठा ही सही, पल भर के लिए कोई हमें प्यार कर ले, झूठा ही सही। हमने बहुत तुझको छुप छुप के देखा, हमने बहुत तुझको छुप छुप के देखा, दिल पे खींची है तेरे काजल की रेखा, काजल की रेखा बनी लक्ष्मण की रेखा, हो काजल की रेखा बनी लक्ष्मण की रेखा। राम में क्यों तूने रावण को देखा, राम में क्यों तूने रावण को देखा, खड़े खिड़की पे, खड़े खिड़की पे जोगी स्वीकार कर ले, झूठा ही सही, पल भर के लिए कोई हमें प्यार कर ले, झूठा ही सही। झूठा ही सही, हीरे से जड़े तेरे नैन बड़े, जिस दिन से लड़े तेरे दर पे पड़े, हीरे से जड़े तेरे नैन बड़े, जिस दिन से लड़े तेरे दर पे पड़े। सुन सुन कर तेरी नहीं नहीं जान अपनी निकल जाए ये न कहीं, जरा हाँ कह दे मेरी जान कह दे, मेरी जान कह दे जरा हाँ कह दे, जब रैन पड़े नहीं चैन पड़े, नहीं चैन पड़े जब रैन पड़े। माना तू सारे हसीनों से हंसी है, माना तू सारे हसीनों से हंसी है, अपनी भी सूरत बुरी तो नहीं है, अपनी भी सूरत बुरी तो नहीं है। कभी तू भी हो कभी तू भी हमारा दीदार कर ले, झूठा ही सही, पल भर के लिए कोई हमें प्यार कर ले, झूठा ही सही। La 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 la। पल भर के प्यार पे निसार सारा जीवन, पल भर के प्यार पे निसार सारा जीवन, हम वो नहीं जो छोड़ दें तेरा दामन, अपने होठों की हंसी हम तुझको देंगे, अपने होठों की हंसी हम तुझको देंगे, आंसू तेरे अपनी आंखों में लेंगे, आंसू तेरे अपनी आंखों में लेंगे। तू हमारी वफा का एतबार कर ले, तू हमारी वफा का एतबार कर ले, झूठा ही सही, पल भर के लिए कोई हमें प्यार कर ले, पल भर के लिए कोई हमें प्यार कर ले। को देखा and to this beautiful ending, you know, आंसू तेरे अपनी आंखों में लेंगे. The whole thing is done so beautiful, and how many windows were there? It's almost like, you know, reminds me of Charulata's opening sequence where she goes from one window to the other to catch. So just a few words on the visualization, the picture, and then we'll.
One person who is very primary to Dev Sahab is Kishore Kumar. Kishore Kumar playbacked for him with Ziddi, Marne ki duaein kyun mangu. And he became Dev Sahab's vocal alter ego. And Kishore had taken a vow that I will not sing, because music was very sacred to Kishore. And he had come to Bombay only to meet Kundan Lal Sehgal. He didn't think Ashok Kumar was a singer. So Kishore Da had vowed that मैं देव के अलावा किसी को अपनी आवाज़ नहीं दूंगा. So he would sing for himself and then he'd only play back for Dev Saab. And they had, Dev Saab told me about this. He said when Kishore would be recording a song, I used to go for the recording and I used to watch वो क्या क्या हरकत कर रहा है. When he's singing, what all he's doing. Kishore would know Dev will enact it. So he would keep his style in mind. He would keep where Dev would like a pause, where he would grin, where he would do this. So it was again so symbiotic that they were again sort of really feeding off each other, if I would say. Then of course Kishore has income tax problems. And then Aradhana comes and becomes the golden voice of the nation. But he was a great singer forever, untrained, totally untrained like Kundan Lal Sehgal.
I think we open up for any audience questions.
Are we
can
done?
actually.
Are we done?
Yeah. So we.
Oh, how sad.
We haven't. We couldn't get to guide. That I think would need. The whole philosophy of their collaboration. And.
Just one quick thing I'll
Yeah.
add, because you all
मैं
must
जिंदगी
not
का
miss
साथ
it.
निभाता चला गया is the quintessential Vijayanand and Devanand philosophy.
Actually, I think it's Devanand who had a very philosophical bent, always. He was, and I always saw he had a very Spartan life. He never ate lunch, never, ever. I worked with him as an assistant, and he would get damn irritated if he'd eat lunch. He would say, you all are wasting time. So I said, we are normal people. We want to, we feel hungry. He would turn around and tell me, हिंदुस्तान में लोग खा खा के बीमार पड़ जाते हैं. भूखा रहने से कोई नहीं बीमार पड़ता. So then, I just looked at him because I said, this guy has done guide. Who am I arguing with? So the 9 din ka upvas and all that. I said, forget it. I'm not arguing with him. So, so Dev Sahab's own philosophy of life, I think Goldie expressed. Also, they had the same genetic pool, the same DNA. And somewhere, Goldie ka alter ego the Dev Sahab on screen. So it again sort of worked. Guide, just one thing I want you to, because when I was working with him, English guide was not available. It's available on YouTube. Go and see it. It's very close to the book. It's bad. So when Goldie comes to do it, Goldie just flips guide completely on its head. So he starts the film where 3/4 of the story is finished. It's over.
The book is almost 3/4 done.
The book is almost 3/4 done is where he starts the film. And that is something he told me, the story and the screenplay are different beasts. I was young, I nodded. I understood it intellectually. Now, after 40 years of working, I really know it's a magic mantra. Rest you please read in my book. Now I'm open to questions. Yes.
Hi.
No, two please. Two please.
Thank you for the session.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I already have the mic. Thank you for the session. I was hoping you would say something about Jewel Thief also, because I think Johnny Mera Naam and Jewel Thief were the two most important. They're on my list. Every year I watch them at least once. So right now, do you have something to say about Jewel Thief?
Jewel Thief is one of the greatest structures, because it was again, he took a challenge. A story was told about him, about a man who doesn't exist. And Goldie was fascinated, so he said, cinema ka form ab isme main use karunga. So the way he structured it, it's got multiple red herrings. It's a film which is taking you down the paths, and the villain is the real surprise. And it's one of the most brilliantly written, directed film with brilliant songs which never stop the story flow.
Yeah, Hoto pe aisi baat.
With the climactic Hoto pe aisi baat. Yeah, ma'am.
In fact, one of my stories about Jewel Thief is like my mother, when I was going to watch it for the first time, my mother tells me, you will love it, you will never realize that the villain is Ashok Kumar. I said,
Oh,
oh
don't
my
tell,
God.
don't tell, don't tell.
Thank you.
Yes.
But you also told.
Everybody,
Spoiler.
nobody has not watched Jewel Divya.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good
I'm
afternoon,
Usha Rao.
Hi.
My question is, it's been S.D. Burman throughout the 50s who was closely associated with Navketan. How is it that, for the 1960 movie Hum Dono, Dev Sahab chose Jaidev ji, though of course his excellent music in Hum Dono. So is there any reason, any particular reason?
Well, he was asking Dev Saab always for a break. I mean, so he had got a break with Chetan Sahab's Joru Ka Bhai, in which Goldie had acted. So he had been wanting, I feel, though Dev Saab never said that to me, I feel Lata and S.D. Burman were not on talking
Yes,
terms.
yes.
So they needed Lata to come in for the bhajans. S.D. Burman and Sahir were also having a major tiff after Pyasa.
Ah.
So they needed, and Dada was sacrosanct. Dada was, they loved and respected him. So they can't tell Dada, you don't do it. So they asked him, कि ये film अगर जयदेव करे तो. So Dada was very generous. Assistant भी था ना, हाँ हाँ करने दो. So he did it, but each song, and this Goldie Saab also told me, each song was sifted through S.D. Burman. If he gave the approval, then only it was put in the film.
Okay.
So there was Dada always there in the.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
Because the songs of Hum Dono are so beautiful. The two bhajans,
Everlasting.
Prabhu Tero Naam and Allah Tero
Allah
Naam.
Tero Naam.
And then the two contrasting, Kabhi Khud Pe Kabhi Khayal.
Kabhi
and then
Halat Pe Rona
Aaj Rona Aaya. And on the other hand, we had My Zindagi Ka Saath Nibhate.
जहाँ में ऐसा कौन है कि जिसको गम मिला नहीं.
Ah, such a beautiful thing. And then the Jahan Mein Aisa Kaun Hai, the solo by Asha.
Asha, yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, the iconic Abhi Na Jao Chhod Kar. So, yeah, thank you.
That note, maybe, Abhi Na Jao Chhodkar, Dil Abhi Bhara
We'll
Nahi.
talk later. Anybody else who's got questions, we'll talk later because I think they're going to throw us out now. We have so much to talk. That's really the problem with Goldie Saab and Dev Saab.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tanuja, for the book. Thank you,
Thank you
Shiny.
so much, Shantanu,
And
for
thank
being such a wonderful companion on this journey.